Hi guys, going to talk about Bud Light. It's an interesting one. I've got to admit, I've got to sit on the fence a little bit because we're forced to. This is the funny thing. So I understand where all this is coming from because I can't engage with a common sense approach because I work in the corporate world. We're sort of bound, even contractually, around what we can sort of have as opinions. Now, I'm going to be open ended on this in the sense of understanding where it's coming from. So I'm not going to stress my own opinion. I'm going to stress what my thoughts are. Um, Now, the thing with Bud Light, that individual, if you haven't seen it, it's wiped out billions of sales, dollars of sales for Bud the business, the beer business, Budweiser. Because they put this person. See, I struggle to even understand some of the people these days because they can't decide who they are or what they are. So, is it this person transgender? Is this person a they, there, or whatever? This is where we get to. So they had this person. They basically just opened a few cans of beers, and it went viral. And the reaction went even further viral. People stopped buying the beer. Now, I didn't see it as much of an issue until I realised they put the face on the can. That's a visual thing. That's something where it's like this. When people say, I'm not king and country, and you have something like this, right? They're symbols. That's a symbol of you, whether you like it or not. There's people who go, hate the king, da da da. But as soon as a war impacts their homeland, patriotism suddenly comes out, whether people want to admit it or not. Unfortunately, it's just reality. I'm the same. I'm not anti-royal or pro-royal. I'm just not interested. The same as I find that the destruction of the UK in what it was as a nation, its identity has been eroded, etc. It's destroyed what it is to be British in many ways. And they're trying to change it, make it all fluffiness and nonsense. But this gets back into where we are, right? So you've got this person on the beer can. You've just you've just destroyed the beer can image. That's one thing. Because I was just some idiot, and I'm going to call them an idiot because the stuff they're doing just isn't normal. I'm not on about wearing dresses or whatever as a guy or whatever. I'm talking about the fact the guy seems completely nuts. Not about that stuff. You just have to watch a few videos to think he needs some help. Seems overly happy, and the plastic surgery seems to have given him a permanent smile, a bit like the Joker. But I'm not attacking the guy. I'm just saying it's bigger than just going, oh, it's transgender. No, it's nothing to do with that. That's part of just being transgender. The problem you've got is they've attacked the brand by targeting. You must accept this woke culture into something as a product. Now, corporates are doing this a lot because I hear it a lot, and you've got to bite your lip sometimes about, oh, well done, women in business. That's not man in business. There's not men in business. It's just women in business. Oh, the boys' clubs and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, you have women's groups as well. It's the same as the shed clubs where women were trying to interfere in that in Australia. They're for men when they're retired, redundant. Try and stop them committing suicide. Leave it alone. So, where this gets to, why is the beer can so important? No, I don't have one. That's why I'm looking around trying to visualize. I've got nothing I can actually visualize just to go, the can. They've attacked a symbol in the sense of it's a brand, it's a product, it's something that's visually known to everybody. In a way where they're going, you must accept whether you like it or not. Now, people know my relationship with Netflix, where they've gone overly diverse and woke. I don't make a fuss about it. I just cancel my subscription because it's garbage. You know, the show's gone so strange, they're not worth watching anymore. And I think somebody was talking about the what's that, is it Ted Lasso or something on Apple, where they're trying to push in so many like children's stories of being the better person and stuff, that they've actually missed the storyline. It's become absolute trash. And you're probably, oh Matt, you're being so unreasonable. No, you're missing the point. People have got tired of being told this crap, right? The majority of people have no issue with anybody. I have no issue with, the guy I work with started wearing a dress. Couldn't care less. I'm more interested his accounts are right. That's all I'm interested in. I don't care what he does. It doesn't matter. That's up to them. It matters to them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not interested. It's the same if you say, right, Matt, take 40 people you work with. How many are married? How many are gay? What's it got to do with work? Well, nothing. There you go. The answer is, I don't know any of them. No idea. I couldn't name anybody, whether they had a partner or, what that partner's name. Not a hope in hell. I wouldn't even know. I'm not interested. And it's not because I don't care. It's the fact is, I don't do the small talk piece. Very few people in my industry you would trust anyway. So the point being is, you try to keep your personal life separate. That beer can was a big symbol for America, in the sense of people that are going to work all day, come home, sore back from lifting boxes or bending over fixing a car or whatever it is. You go, gonna have a couple of beers, sit and watch the TV, and you've got this face on the side of the can. Now, I assume that face is on every can, but if it's not, I think the damage was done anyway. Although it must be, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it myself. I'd only seen the can on the video I was sent because I was watching a video around it, and I was like, okay, it doesn't seem much, until she turned the can round, or he turned the can round, or what turned the can round, or they turned the can round, because there's somebody on there. I'm not being funny. You come in from work and you're not really bothered, but it's not the fact of the image. It's people ramming politics down your throat. You turn your chill out pill round, and there's this big face staring at you going, you've got to accept wokeness into your life because it's been rammed down your throat, literally, in the beer that you drink every week. And people go, backlash, boycott, da-da. It's not that. It's not going out of the way to do anything. You're literally going, Coors Light, please. Or another beer. And that's it. You change brand. It really is that simple. It's not people going, you need to do this. Guys, we're going to go out, we're going to protest, we're going to get the banners out, we're going to go to Washington, we're going to do this. It's people have literally just gone, I ain't drinking that. And swap brand. Gillette done this weird campaign as well. I did a bit of a mockery piece on there where there was a guy splitting two kids up fighting. Hey guys, don't do that. And I was going, hey, don't touch my kids. And then the two fathers fighting. I think I've got a better version. But the point being is, they are moving away from their products. This stuff is nothing to do with them. And the average person does not care. Otherwise, you'd have much bigger rallies, much bigger fighting going on. You'd probably find 90% of the population is indifferent. You know, if in the sense of if somebody's gay or not, they're not interested. They're not trying to make a scene. They're not trying to go, that's right or that's wrong. They're just going, hey, you've got a beer from the fridge because I've had enough at work this week. I'm not interested in any other crap. I don't, it's nothing to do with me. Don't speak to me. And I think that's where this is going. The assumption that it's some big political move. It's not. They got the consumer. And the thing is, you're going to find that stretches out. Because I've got to admit, when somebody said about the Gillette one, I then look at Gillette and I'm going, yeah, I think they're overstepping the mark politically. I'm not going to buy Gillette anymore either. Not going to buy Bud Light, not buying Gillette, not buying using Netflix anymore. And it's not because I hate anything. It's because these are brands. They're not supposed to be politically motivated. The same as the church and state should be separate. It's exactly the same. You're enforcing stuff that we have political systems for. I'm not sponsoring it. It's as simple as that. I'm not sponsoring any political movement unless I get a say in what I'm sponsoring. Like I say, Netflix, the issue there is they try to force you. Because they go, well, you pay a subscription, and you go, okay. And my wife was saying about I think there's a show on like Black Royals or something. No idea, but I'm just like, well, why? What's the obsession with trying to rewrite history? If you want to do a show on people from other cultures, do it on other cultures. Do something that's real. You know, you don't have to rewrite history in the hope that that doesn't get noticed. What you need to do is actually find the interesting parts of other cultures. I mean, there's, out in the Philippines, what's his name? There's an alien, I think it's called Coco or something. Seen him years ago. But there's some very good, unique stuff in every culture. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff I see with the African soaps that were on Netflix, probably still are, I'm just not. They were badly written. And they just weren't very good. But you watch the Argentinian stuff, very good. Watch the Portuguese, good stuff. Korean, fantastic. It's about the quality that they're pushing out there. Now, don't get me wrong. If they got a bad media setup, bizarrely, it's not my problem. But it also means I don't want to sponsor and see it. Because A, I'm not paying for it, and B, if it's crap, I don't want to watch it. Simple as that. I'm not here to build a film industry off the back of my money. I'm here to have entertainment. That's the whole point of these things. The whole diversity thing is not my policy. I didn't force it on anybody. I'm not paying for it. If you want to do it, that's fine. That's fine. You know, everyone has their own groups. It's the same as I've got no issue with anybody being from any different group out there. Well, I do have limitations with, you know, harming, maiming and murdering, that sort of stuff. But that's what those aren't my sort of groups. You know, I do have limitations on my acceptance of groups. We'll keep it to the more mainstream ones. But I think the tide is turning because you may be getting people trying to force the political agenda for whatever they want. Because a lot of time I do not understand what they're even whinging about. In this time, I'm more at risk of being fired or whatever than somebody with pink hair that decides to be a man, woman, or a Labrador. Then because society has sort of imploded or twisted. It's all gone very weird. And most people have gone quiet because the default for most people is not interested. Because if everyone was interested, wouldn't our political system run a lot better? Let's face it, there's a reason we have these same rubbish politicians over and over again. They're career politicians. Most of them have never had a day's work in their lives. But if you actually had people that actually engaged and fully wanted all these changes and everything else, society would change overnight. Reality is, nobody's interested. People are more interested in just going to work, coming home, having a beer, watching TV, and do it all again on Monday. You know, that's it. Or the football, or the rugby, the cricket, the basketball, or cooking shows. Let's throw some other things. You notice I didn't say men or women, but I mean, as I said to my wife the other day, we were talking about women's football because people are complaining they don't get paid as much. You look at how much money women's football generates compared to men's. Would I watch a women's football match? I'd probably struggle. Would I pay to go to watch a women's football match? The answer is no. Shock horror. But would I pay for a men's football match? No. It's exactly the same. But for a lot of people, they have their own teams and stuff, and it's been built up over, 150 years or something? And you want to shift it completely overnight because you've decided that, we want women's football to be paid the same and everything else. There's a reason Ronaldo and Messi are paid as much as they are. It's because they're top of the game. Same as in basketball and other sports. They're the best of the best. You know, it doesn't matter man, woman or alien. Reality is, they're the best. End of. There's no challenge there. You know, everyone should be able to play the same. Yeah. Women in the NBA, let's have a mixed basketball team. And I wonder which teams are going to win the NBA and what's likely to be the majority of their players. And the reason I choose NBA because non-contact compared to most other sports, but they still got to be physically fit and massively tall. So anyway, but yeah, my personal view is I get it, and we have this thing. Denise is a part of this, and my wife's part of it. It's called IDC. It's a very simple thing. Is I don't care, and it's, you know, and the whole point is when you get these sort of things, we go, I have rights. I don't care. I don't care. You know, in other words, it's not that I don't care about you. It's just I'm not listening to it, and that's what's happened with Bud Light. I'm not interested. I want the beer. You put me off my beer. Chorus, please. And that's what's happening. Gillette sells razors and then gone off on this masculinity tour thing. All very weird. And you're going, what are you doing? That's got nothing to do with you. I don't even understand it. When I was a kid, you used to have these, I remember being in Hong Kong. You used to get these videos that come on about people pouring boiling hot water out of themselves. There'd be a woman with half her face scarred, and then you got another one with two kids fighting with kitchen knives. You know, they're messing around because the parents are out. There used to be government videos on this type of stuff. They weren't very good, but it's politics. That's funded separately. It's not something you're buying, funding something that does not have anything to do with the products they actually sell. You know, I think we're turning a corner, and one of the key things for me is I state, you know, I was talking to Keenan about this, and there's been a couple other people asked me about it because they're going, well, where do I think it's going? I says, well, the pendulum always swings. History's always done that. We've been pushing this to here, and then it's been pushed right down where people are going, oh, well, you need to accept me that I want to be fluid, liquid, whatever I decide today, and if you don't like it, I can sue you, prosecute you, and everything else. That's been stuck there for some time. And the average person, who's probably IDC, that's not a gender, by the way, I've been sat there going, I'm ignoring it, I've got other things to do, not interested, and somebody sticks it on the beer can, go, I'm not buying any more of that beer. You just go, Coors Light please, or whatever, another brand, and they just stop buying their product. Gillette, probably not as bad unless they stuck it on the side of the Gillette, because the only reason I know about the Gillette ad is my wife mentioned it, and I'm like, what's this got to do with razors? Yeah, I think it's a bit of a wake-up call, and I do think you're going to find people that are starting to go, yeah, let's not buy their product anymore. It had an impact on the bud, product by product, and it's not about somebody doesn't like gay people, or doesn't like this, or doesn't like that. It's the fact is constantly, since the COVID period, been in everybody's ear, whining about stuff. And half these people, I've never even seen. You know, I'm not being funny. I see people with purple hair and stuff, but I don't normally engage with them because I don't need to. Yet they seem everywhere at the moment. We seem to be encouraging it in the media to make it worse. And it's like, oh, well, where I have a problem is when you start getting near my kids. In the same way, if I knew somebody was a predatory paedophile, I would not let them near the kids. Now, this has nothing to do with being gay or purple hair. It's to do with manipulating and brainwashing, which has been going on. There's no getting away from it. Because, you know, I've no problem with somebody going, you know, like the kids are 15 years old or whatever, where they're at that part where they're in life, where they're trying to decide what they're doing, and somebody says, oh yeah, you know, I'm part of this, or I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're old enough to start thinking for themselves. But when you're starting to go in at a younger age and go, there's no boys, there's no girls, kids just need to learn to be kids. So life's crap once you become an adult. Leave them alone. They've got enough to do. They want to go and play in the mud, climb trees, play with toys, do kid stuff. Stop pushing your political agenda on other people. And I've got to admit, I don't recollect anything that was anti-gay to anybody when I was a kid. I can't remember anything. You know, there was nobody singled out at school, nothing. And I do wonder if some people thought they were victimised sometimes. And it wasn't. It's because they isolate themselves because there's an assumption. Because that does happen. I've even experienced that in adult life with people. Because I remember working at Millennium Point, where a lot of the students are Chinese, the cleaners are predominantly Jamaican descendants, security is predominantly from British Pakistani or Pakistani, engineers are white British. It's all like oil and water, separated. Yeah, I spent time just talking to all of them because I just see everybody as the same. And bizarrely, that's why the engineers are going, well, why is the security guys getting your lunch? I said, because they're going to go and get lunch. He said, they never ask us. I said, do you speak to them? And that's a lot of the problems. A lot of it's in people's heads. Because most people are IDC. Anyway, that's enough on that. Like I said, myself, I'm going to be not boycotting, I'm just going to stop buying products that move into politics. Doesn't matter what it is. I just want them away from the products. I want politics to stay in politics, and anything I'm buying, if you want to take a political line, that's fine. I'm just no longer your customer. Very simple. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. There's more important things out there in the world. And I don't think these corporates moving into this is a good thing, because they also sponsor things in the background that there's too much of them getting involved in the politics as well. Through billions they pump into the political arenas. I hate lobbyists. I think it's a stain on humanity. But anyway, thanks for watching.